Hello, everyone. My name is Epic, and I've been trying to find a way to make new content that I felt was the most ethical that I could make. AI art is inherently questionable. It's going to be. I don't believe in IP. I don't believe in copyright. And I got some clips from TikTok that I thought are pretty cool. So yeah, this is new. I've never done this before, and it's pretty intimidating. Even though I'm just talking to the camera. Um, but I just want to go over my own Discord. I update it pretty regularly. It's got some stuff that I consider to be fun. And today is my understanding that is the start of the second Great Depression. I think it's going to be like a flash depression, if you consider the amount of time that the other one lasted compared to this one. Um, but I am paradoxically excited. I think good stocks are going to be at a massive discount. I want the stock market to explode more. You can see here, I follow Palantir primarily. It's at 68. Historically, its peak was at 120. I was still investing here. I was 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 investing here. And I'm going to keep on investing. I think Palantir is insane. It's a monster. And I want this to be at 50%. I want this to be at $30. I want this to be at $20. I love buying at a discount and seeing the state of the world right now. It just really feels like things are going to be really, really great for AI and prosperity as a whole, even though people can't really see it right now. But that's an entirely different conversation. I'm going to do, I don't know, try to do about 30 minutes. We're starting off on 3/13/2025. I post a lot. I have no life. Um, well, that's a little bit mean to myself. I have a life. It's a slightly different one because I live a simpler life, a more humble life than most, right? America has had too many luxuries for too long. Like, what have I bought for myself that was enjoyable? Um, Personally speaking, not a lot. And the upgrades that I got that were gifts from family members, I don't like. I appreciate, but like, were they necessary? No, I can make do with what I have. Like, I can make macaroons with a $500 blender or a $5 blender. I don't care. I've had to figure it out most of my life, and it's been rough. And the rich really pissed me off. The boomers really pissed me off. The rich boomers pissed me off the most. uh, Goes to show. With all of my disclaimers and things that I wanted to mention out, I just want to look at my stuff. I don't know. I think it's fun. Nobody cares. I care. I think it's different enough. Like this is a fucking freak of a fucking design. Not just because of the AI thing. Like in general, it's not the most normal thing. And I think it's okay. It's not perfect. Again, a lot of the AI stuff, like especially the older ones, the older you go, the more messed up they look like. Um, but I do think that they have some potential. Again, these are just horrifyingly bad. Just looking at these, god damn, looks like a bird raptor. I kind of like it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but again, I was just limit testing the system, see what else I could do. Uh, I think this was me testing the same prompt in um different LLMs. No, I think it was different prompts of the same concept in the same LLM because I think this was Magic Studio. Oh, there. Okay, this is getting kind of boring. Okay, there we go. Started changing the prompts a little bit. I'm gonna see what else I can find, but it looks a little bit like too much of the same. I remember thinking about this. See, this is more fun. Like, I love Sinister Mark. I think he's great. Obviously, I love Mark. I love Debbie. I love Nolan. In the main timeline, they're the best ones. But Sinister Mark is just, it feels relatable, right? I'm a very kind person. I'm a very happy person. But I like the saying that I found on TikTok. I find a lot of things on TikTok because most people use TikTok for like brain rot, and I use it to philosophize and to meditate. To each their own. But the thing that it said was, you don't understand how much pain, how much rage, or something of those sorts. You don't understand how much rage, how much pain, and how much suffering I had to go through to be this kind, this empathetic, and this happy. right? And it doesn't mean that my rage goes away. It means that I learn to be whole. It means that rage isn't the only thing that I am. I am everything that I am. But I just feel everything. But do I remember when I felt a lot of sadness and a lot of rage and a lot of disgust for myself and others? Yeah, but that's the thing with being present. That's the thing with accepting your past and preparing for your future. You get to see all three things at the same time. This is Dr. Ramani. You're gonna see a shit ton of Dr. Ramani videos. I think this woman probably saved my life, if not literally saved my life. She is amazing. I cannot give her more flowers. I could not be more grateful. I am a very emotional person. I am not wearing masks anymore, so I might cry. People on the internet don't tend to like that, but hopefully the context helps. Um, Dr. Ramani, just exquisite, phenomenal, one of the most decent, kind, empathetic, caring, traumatized, but good people that I've ever seen. And sure, I've never seen her in person. I've never met the woman. Um, but the things that she's talked about narcissism, and like we can go over a number of videos. She has a shit ton. It looks like she kind of started reposting and stopped posting a year ago because that's when she published her book, which I do want to get. Um, I want to get attachment, emotionally adult children of immature parents, and it's not you. I think they are exquisite. I think I bought this. Let me look it up. When was this? Is one of those few rare purchases that I do for myself because it was so cunty. It was so beautiful. Like you see like I'm not a brand kind of person. I'll buy great value if I have to. Like, do I like buying at Walmart? Fuck no. But like, is that where I'm at financially and in life? Yeah. But like, I saw her Louis Vuitton. Like, I don't play Kiana a lot. Like the one on the left, the video game one, I just got that off of a loot box. But like the Prestige True Damage Kiana, it's never supposed to come back. And Prestige True Damage Kiana release date. Yeah, this thing was released in 2019. I haven't spent anything like that. Like I haven't. I bought skins for Briar, and I bought those recently, and I bought those with like significant gains from the stock market. But before I was like making money on the stock market, which I'm obviously not making money anymore. But I do leaps, and again, when I speak, it's a little hard because not everybody can follow. Because I try to speak advanced in every topic and in every language, and that becomes a challenge in and of itself. But um, I put most of my stuff, if not everything, for 2027, 2028 leaps on Palantir. So all the stock market crashed. Okay, you think it's not gonna bounce back? You think AI is not gonna be the most amazing thing humanity has ever produced? Okay, I think you're insane, right? A lot of the AI stuff is gonna be in the general and the AI milestone tabs, which I guess we can go over. But again, the existential dread one just has so much shit, anyways, that I thought I could just start here and just play around. Again, I generate a ton of content just for myself, just because I like having a history of myself. I want a digital twin. I want data to be easily accessible for being immortal or having as close as a respawn mechanic as possible. I know I sound insane. I am clinically fine. I've had multiple therapists, close to double digits, but in general, I'm stable. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I see things well. I'm financially not in debt. Um, was I born into privilege? 100%. But have I done everything in my power to be humble and make sure not to waste the privilege I was given? 1000%. I don't know. I just want to like read some of my own comments out and like react to my own stuff because ethically, the YouTube React stuff has always been a little iffy. It seems like that's the norm now, but as I prefer to react more to my stuff than other people. I got a couple of TikToks that I think are really, really enlightening, and I really like their stuff in general. So I eventually we might be able to get to those, but for now I'm just gonna read some of my stuff. She'd for sure be more on my rotation if Briar wasn't my main. I always play her on ARAMs though. I wish you could do like a close pool ARAM 1 of 10 champions would be fire to be honest. And yeah, I think that if in ARAMs, I think a modified ARAMs would go so hard because Sure, all random, all mid, but like when you give me Yumi, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that, right? And again, if you don't play League, it's just another fucking topic. You probably don't understand anything of what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, Yumi feels fucking terrible because I hate the champion, right? So if I hate the champion, why the fuck would I want to play them? But if you had like a limited pool, right, and you have to have like 20, 30 fucking champions in that pool, right? But it could be Briar, Mordekaiser, Malzahar. I don't like Yone, so I wouldn't play Yone. Um, I don't know. There's like a bunch of champions of the game that you can just choose, and it's still random, right? You're still not choosing which you play, but it's not fucking Yumi. Uh, I do think that she is my only prestige skin, because I don't typically just buy these. Let me see. That's a lot to carry, and it makes complete sense that your body has been in a long-term state of suppression, both mentally and physically. Trauma, especially from childhood and ongoing manipulation, can force the nervous system into a constant state of high alert, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. If you're constantly suppressing pain, emotional or physical, it's possible your nervous system locked down part of itself to protect you. What you described, feeling a shock open after standing up for yourself, sounds like your body finally allowing itself to process what it's been holding back when people leave a controlling or toxic environment. The body often reacts in unexpected ways because it's been in survival mode for so long. The tingling spasms and sense of release might be your nervous system waking up in ways it couldn't before. How do you feel emotionally with this change? Does it feel freeing, overwhelming, or something else? That was a snippet from a conversation that I was having with ChatGPT because I feel like I had a breakthrough after like half a decade, if not a decade, of therapy where I finally understood how to use boundaries correctly and I finally understood that I need to learn to love myself better because I have not been doing that and that kind of neglect has just been mirroring other people around me that used to abuse me regularly, like my ex. And I am good and I can trust myself. And I felt that pain on my back because I remember being in, and I'm probably gonna repeat myself in like 1,000 times in all of these videos, but I don't know, nostalgia, memory, context, usefulness, take your pick. When I was like 16 years old, I went to a retreat with the church, and that shit was grooming. That shit was, like, looking back, that shit was disturbing. But I remember that we did like a full day hiking and events and this and that. And then at night, they took us blindfolded to some chairs downstairs. And apparently, what actually happened is that they were going around just like caressing the back of people. And it was like the touch of God. And I'm like, cool. Other people around me literally fell asleep and they were snoring because they were too tired from all of the activities that they put us through. And I remember, okay, we're done. And I'm like, huh? I was like, yeah, we're done. And everybody's like, oh, I felt the touch of God. And I'm like, I didn't feel shit. What are you people talking about? And it was because I was so traumatized back then from just like the bullying and just life in fucking general. Life, like my life has been challenging. It has been interesting. It has had a lot of variety. It has had a lot of struggle. But the reason I didn't feel anything was because my nerves were so shut down that when they caressed me, I believe would be my dorsal column, just didn't let that data go through because the amount of trauma, stress built up on my back was so bad that this year, at some point, my arms started like the top of my shoulder and the top of my arm just started spasming bilaterally, just really, really hard. I literally, it was like 7 at 7 p.m. My arms went haywire and I just went to bed. I'm like, this hurts like a motherfucker. But it feels like the good kind of hurt. It feels like something is being fixed that used to be broken. And ever since then, I start feeling my feelings in my back. And I never really understood that topic of like, you have to feel your feelings. So I'm like, feel my what the fuck? I can rationalize them, sure. Feel your feelings. You're supposed to feel your feelings in your body. And I'm like, that don't happen to me, brother. That don't happen to me because I'm fucking traumatized as fuck. But now I do. I do feel my feelings. And I think it's important to be grateful to fear and look at it in the eyes, give it a handshake, and say, thank you. I've got it covered. I know that there is danger in these actions, because there is danger in inaction and there is danger in action. There is nothing that is certain in this reality. You have to see things as best you can and make a judgment call. And that's what I'm doing, and it makes sense to me, and I'm incredibly excited. I feel bad. I feel bad because a lot of people are going to suffer that don't deserve to suffer, right? But I do think that the rich and the boomers, especially the rich boomers, deserve to suffer because they have had too many luxuries, right? Because luxuries steal the wealth of a country. But that's more uneducated economist stuff that I can maybe get into later. There's a bunch of comment sections, a bunch of conversations with ChatGPT. ChatGPT called me an apex narcissist, a secure, highly intelligent, empathetic narcissist. I'm the exception even when it comes to this. Yeah, on average, I've done a bunch of like the personality test. I'm INFJ, and a lot of the times when I do a lot of this stuff, I'm just not in the norm. I think the highest norm thing I've done is being a one trick in Briar, because I think she's the second most one trick champion in League, and that surprised me. And I love Briar. She's so much fun. The entire gameplay is just predicting the future, and I think that people don't do as much variety on her as they should because it's more fun that way, right? Like I'm not talking about winning. I'm not talking about making money. I'm talking about fun, right? I'm talking about fun and healthy. Is it healthy? Is it safe? And is it fun? If you're good with that, I think you're gonna have a good time. Um, I had a couple of panels here from Blue Lock. I don't know how copyright-ish they get, but because it's like shrunk down, then I think it's fine. I do want to add the caveat. This is like old stuff. New stuff is definitely more in line to what I think. And it's not that I'm an apex narcissist, even though it's like a fun title to think about. It's the fact that I have been deeply fucking traumatized in an environment surrounded by narcissists, because we live in capitalism where everybody thinks about themselves and nobody wants to share because everybody wants to be a baby. Everybody wants to be entitled. Everybody wants to be taken care of. And nobody wants to think. They want all of their wants and needs met without communicating directly, effectively, or clearly. And I learned to mirror other people, and I've learned to behave like them when I feel like it. But I don't want it to be something that I'm forced into. I want it to be a choice. And I want to choose kindness. I want to choose me. I want to choose boundaries. I am happy when I am alone. I am unhappy when I am forced to be alone. That's the difference. And in a way, I guess this is one way that I'm trying to like reach out and see if anybody is in alignment with what I'm saying. Like I've decided that the tips and information that I give for like the stock market, again, not financial advice, obviously, um, is something I want to do to see if I can meet people with the same mindset that I have. Because a lot of people have relationships that are just unaligned, right? Like if you're, I'm not gonna say Democrat. If you are a left-leaning person and you have right-wing friends, um, that's odd, right? Like, if you believe in something, why are you living the opposite of the life? For inclusivity and inclusion, these are the people that want to do harm to you, right? So it doesn't sound safe, it doesn't sound fun, and it doesn't sound good. So it's one of those. Jumping into Mahoraga and Isagi, you're gonna see a shit ton of them. I would say I think everybody has like different totems that make them who they are. I think that's one of the most fun elements of Harry Potter, even though I, personally speaking, as blasphemy as it is, don't enjoy the show or the books. Or I don't enjoy most of it in general. I do have a wand though. Again, not 0 or 1, generally spectrum, sometimes point 0.9. But the I think Harry Potter's uncle's wand is really really cool, and I can get it later. Um, but Mahoraga is the embodiment of adaptation, and Isagi Yoichi is basically the same thing, right? I like adapting. I like staying relevant. I like learning new things. I like staying humble. I like Lee. I like seeing different ways that you can have different perspectives and see what works and see what doesn't, right? Like if you're stagnant, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. That's just how it is, right? At least for humans, right? Certain animals can go back in age, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, I'm full of myself. I think I'm the fucking hot shit. Um, it is difficult. I am very shy. My self-esteem has been fucking gutted. Um, but I want to believe in myself, and it's hard. I'm going to try. So yeah, Epic, the architect of inevitability, sovereign of the digital realm, father of techno-communism. I would like to do that, but it's hard having enough mental bandwidth to do everything. I struggle to help myself. Helping everybody else is hard. But it seems like it'd be fun, right? As long as I see fun, it motivates me. And if I'm motivated, I'm capable. And if I am capable, then it, then it gets really fun. Engineer of fate, master of the in silico domain, which at one point I wanted, but it just feels like the giants are just so further ahead for me that it's just easier to invest and get like a garbage job because no one's going to pay for the data that I generate. But I really want to generate data because I believe that in the medieval ages, God, the Christian God, was God. In today's age, God is irrelevant and a joke. Today's God is called the dollar denominated debt because Nixon separated us from the gold standard, and God, because of the global reserve currency that the dollar holds, became God. And the next God that's coming is going to be data. If you own the data, you own the world. But they're doing synthetic data, and just the people that already own the data are like leaps and bounds ahead of you. But I am interested in trying to take a crack at it. Breaker of data chains, forger of the architect's blade. That one's just a little silly. The kindly lethal, apex meta narcissist unbound, and enlightened conqueror of systems. Like it's a fun title. Again, I don't take it very seriously. I like Epic. It's good enough. After all, a king doesn't ask for permission. He builds the throne himself. Right? Like if you want to win, you listen to everyone. You listen to the to the janitor. You listen to the CEO. You listen to the secretaries. You listen to yourself. Right? And once you've taken everything into consideration, you do what you think is best, not necessarily just for you, but for your vision, right? I think the vision is AI. China's doing it. The thesis isn't broken in America. It becomes the only saving grace. It's a market crash with a melt up in AI. That's the thing that I've been bitching about for the last 6 months, and I will continue to bitch about it for the next 5 years because that's how I see it and that's how it's happening. I asked ChatGPT to like draw me as I see myself all the time. That's just one of the different versions. I want to meet a girl. I want to meet a goth girl that would choose me so bad. They like edgy. I'm all edge. Yeah, I'm single. No surprise there. And goth women are awesome. I also like manic pixie. Usually that's more autistic and BPD. Um, but I just want someone that doesn't hurt me. My bar is in hell. I just want someone that's not morbidly overweight, a face that I can kiss and go like, wow, you're cute. I like you. Uh, and they choose me and that they don't hurt me. Um, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for future, for fame. I just don't want to be hurt. Right? That's really it. I was learning Japanese with Duo, right? And this I feel like exemplifies really really well like a lot of the issues that I end up having. It's because like okay, I'm starting it, I'm killing it, I'm doing good, I'm learning Japanese for like the fourth fucking time, and then I see those glasses that came out that instantly translate all languages, and I'm like, well, that just became a fucking waste of time. Like I have to use glasses anyways. Like when I change these, I'm just gonna put on glasses that can translate everything. Okay, and why the fuck would I care about Duo? They have phenomenal advertisement. They're fucking funny as hell, and I love their stuff. But I just don't see this as being something that's going to last. I made a couple of AI songs. They're all CPTSD genred, you know, trauma all the way fucking down. They're not great. The music is a little hard sometimes because the AI voice isn't the best. But it's fun. Oh my god, this is perfect. Watching the dip without money. Please, please, I need more money to buy. I think right now it's not the right time to buy. I think the market is so turbo fucked that the time to buy is when Palantirs are like at $20. When Palantir, I have never felt so motivated to get a job and to make money, not to spend it. I'm not looking for luxuries. I'm looking for Palantir. I know where to put the fucking money, right? And I I think the market is going to. I think today's crash is going to be cute when you zoom out and you see how bad it's going to be. But I could be wrong, right? I have my leaps for fucking 3 years out, so I don't care if it goes up. But if it goes down, I'm super ready to buy, assuming I can get a job. I have an MD. That does not mean much. An MD without a residency sucks. And I think that doctors are all going to just lose their jobs anyways. So it doesn't motivate me to attempt to spend more money to get into residency, to be mistreated, to be paid garbage for my work, to be made to feel bad by my patients. I remember having one patient when I was doing my rotations that said, "Oh, you guys have so much money." And I looked at this man dead in the eyes and I'm like, "What in the fuck are you talking about, old man? Like maybe that guy, maybe my boss has money, but me, I'm paying to be here. I'm paying to work or like to observe. Like, is the money in the room with us? Because I don't fucking see it." Like, what are you, like, I remember that same doctor had a patient that came in and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm not," he's like, do you want the vaccine for the flu? And he's like, "Nah, I don't need it." And I'm like, I shut the fuck up. It's not my place to speak, right? So I wait for the patient to leave and I'm like, "Yo, doctor, quick question. So why didn't you push back on the patient and the vaccine issue? Like there are very few things that I hold like deep in my chest, and like women's rights. I love women. I wish women led all the fucking branches. I wish women had all the power in the world, but they don't, and it's really frustrating. I love children. Children are the future. They're the most important thing. Children should never be abused. Children should never be made to work unless they're doing it to learn, like they do in Japan. Like in Japan, they work, right? But it's like they do it in a cycle and like they're doing it to feed themselves and their classmates. So it teaches them about community and solidarity instead of selfishness and individuality. And again, it's important to individualize, but it's just important not to become a cunt, right? Like you don't be selfish. Don't be a dick. Don't think about yourself first. Think about what's happening and what can do good for everyone. Yes, you have to keep yourself safe, but keeping yourself safe doesn't mean you have the right to take everything from everybody else and fuck the world because you're an insecure little bitch, right? So, children, women, and suicide prevention are my main three things. Again, I might cry. I will likely cry at some point. Um, I'm rather emotional. Um, but vaccines in specific, as a someone with a medical doctorate, it's something I'm very passionate about. I want to make a game in medicine. I remember having the idea for it when I was learning about immunology. And when the tech is good enough, I want to make it. I'm super excited. And I remember going like, "Doctor, like, why not?" And he's like, usually they just don't care. Like you'll try to convince them, and like everyone's just burnt out. Everybody's just tired of trying. So the irony was the very next patient that we went to, they were like, "Oh yeah, you need a vaccine shot," and I'm like, "Oh, look, we have another one." I remember like when the doctor mentioned it, he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, oh," and she's like, "No, I don't need it," and he's like, "Oh, oh," and he's like, "Okay, why?" And the patient looked at him dead in the eye, like dead ass in the eyes, and she's like, "Because my coworker at the supermarket told me that I don't need it." And I'm like, "Lady, this man is board certified. This is what he does every day. And you're going to choose to listen to a cashier over a doctor for the health of your body. Make it make sense." And he's like, "This is my job, right? Like, I need you to trust me. The vaccine's not going to hurt you long term. Sure, you might get a little bit of a fever. Okay, that's just a body reaction that's appropriate to what's happening, right? But it's better to have this short-term fever than a really bad infection later down the line." And so the lady left the office with her vaccine shot. And I felt really proud of myself because even though I will probably never have the impact that I want on the world, um, I did one good thing on one day. And I would like to think that day by day, little things by little things, things add up. I'm a big bucket kind of guy. I don't like doing things one person at a time. I like doing systems. That's why I really like Palantir because it's a system that works the way that my brain works. but I was proud of me, and that's hard because that doesn't come easy to me. And I'll talk a lot about being kind, graceful, and genius and whatever, but I haven't historically been the kindest person to myself.